All right, it is time now once again for the Dawn and Eli Take on the World podcast. My name is Elias Mellis, but you can call me Eli for short. And who is this incredibly strong and sweet and sensitive and loving and caring and amazing, incredible, decent, down-to-earth, okay, I can go on forever, lady to my right? Who are you?
Well, hello, everybody. My name is Dawn Ledgerwood, and I am your girlfriend.
That's right. You're Dawn Ledgerwood, my amazing girlfriend. Like I said last week and every week, says your name right there.
Yes, right there.
All right. Anyway, let's get right to it, baby. Welcome back to another episode of the Dawn and Eli Take on the World podcast. Today, we're talking about something that's becoming more and more common, handling out-of-context narratives. So yes, episode number 55 of the Dawn and Eli Take on the World podcast, once again, is handling online out-of-context narratives. Because in today's world, it only takes a small clip, a single sentence, or even something from years ago to completely change how people see you.
Yeah.
And the real question is, Dawn, what do you do when the story being told about you isn't the full story? Because this isn't just about social media. This is about perception, control, and how quickly things can spread without context. So today, this isn't about reacting. This is about understanding what's really happening and how to handle it the right way. But before we get to all of this, as always, baby, we have to do our wonderful, amazing monologue to catch people up on the past week. How's the past week been going for you here at the GNA, short for Genuine Networking Association?
This week has been fantastic. Just lots of wonderful things have happened. Lots of great stuff with the GNA. I had a great day yesterday with family. Some of Eli's family. We spent the afternoon visiting. And yeah, it's just been great conversations, great interactions, just lots of good stuff.
You got your hair cut at my aunt's house yesterday, and my cousin was there too. We went to pick her up, and we had a good time. We were there a bit longer than we thought we would be, but I've told you, when we hang out with my aunt, it's an all-day affair.
Yeah, can that woman talk? Let me just tell you.
That's okay.
No, it's absolutely. And you know what?
She's earned it.
She's earned it, but also she is very, very smart.
Smartest businesswoman I've ever met in my entire life.
When she speaks, you listen.
You listen.
Because you will learn something very valuable. So I embrace it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it was a great week. Now, how about you, love?
Well, let me try to get this all in the proper context, because that's what the show is about.
Oh, yeah, totally.
I don't want to take myself out of context, baby. It's been an interesting week, to say the least, here at the GNA, short for Genuine Networking Association. I have to mention this because this is what this show is primarily based off of. I am currently in the middle of a civil litigation. A circuit civil case has been filed by me as the plaintiff in the state of Florida against a defendant out here that is a YouTuber that has been harassing me, defaming me, commercially exploiting me, etc., for the last 6+ years, probably stemming closer to 7 or 8 years. And I filed the lawsuit over 6 months ago, but because of some hiccups here and there, we have a major dispositive hearing coming up this Thursday, April 9th. Now, we are recording this show. Let me get the context proper because it is pre-recorded and it's not released till days later. We're recording this show on Sunday, April 5th, 2026. It'll be released throughout the entire podcast network out here on YouTube on our main channel, GNA, Genuine Personal Development, and throughout the entire audio-only podcast network such as Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, your very favorite. iHeartRadio with a smile. Amazon's Audible, YouTube's Music, and many more podcast, audio-only podcast networks that are not as well known. It'll be released on Wednesday, April 8th, 2026, one day before this major dispositive hearing in my circuit civil case. Dispositive means this could end the case because the defendant in this case has filed a motion to dismiss along with an anti-SLAPP stating that I'm trying to silence his freedom of speech, which is definitely not the case. And basically, over the past week or so, the defendant has been filing a bunch of filings that pretty much show exactly what he's been doing to me for the last 6+ years, taking me out of context on selective clips. And many of these selective clips came from private audio recordings or private messages that were leaked and that have absolutely nothing to do with him. But he's trying to take all of that because, he has framed me as dangerous on the YouTube platform many times. And I have put that as part of my Tier 2 defamatory statements. And he's trying to use that to show why he's framed me as dangerous. He's trying to show the judge, the court, aka Judge Stacy in this case, that he had reason to call me dangerous all this time, but he doesn't. And it's because he's been using selective clips that don't even involve him, and he's taken them way, way, way out of context, right?
Yeah.
So the day this is released, okay, most people are going to watch this on the day it is released or listen to it throughout the audio-only podcast network. If you don't watch it on our main channel on YouTube, GNA, Genuine Personal Development. Basically, if you're watching this on, Wednesday, April 8th, 2026, please, I could use your support, first of all. Feel free to comment. Please wish me luck because, I'm not doing this just for me. It is about how I've been violated, but this YouTuber, in my opinion, has violated many people in similar ways, and there needs to be accountability. And so please share your thoughts in the comments section. We would definitely appreciate that. If you're on the audio-only podcast network, I believe you can't comment in most areas. Please go below the description section of wherever you're listening to this audio-only. About halfway down, you'll see the link to the video version of this podcast, and you'll be able to go over to YouTube. You can comment there, and make sure you're subscribed, bang the bell, and select the notifications while you are at it. So that's what's been going on, babe. It's a handful. It's been very interesting getting down to the wire, watching the defendant and his ecosystem of people that I believe are acting in concert with him. The most interesting thing has been how the defendant and his ecosystem through his group have presented this case online compared to what's being filed, within the case, and how the defendant represents himself when we're in a hearing. Because we've already had 2 hearings.
Mm-hmm.
We've already had 2 hearings, and both of those hearings were favorable to me.
Yes.
And there was another situation that the defendant questioned regarding scheduling a hearing, and that decision was also favorable to me.
Yes.
But this is a very major, major hearing that could basically end the entire case. Now, if that were to happen, I would file an appeal immediately. I don't think that's going to happen. I think what may happen is that the judge, the Honorable Judge Susan Stacy in this case, may trim down the case a little bit, may, focus on one or two of my causes of action instead of all four. I have sued for malicious prosecution, abuse of process, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and also defamation of character, which is the big one. And that's what the anti-SLAPP is based on. So that's pretty much what's been going on there in a nutshell. It's gonna also lead us into this show where I'm going to be asking you 10 questions regarding, handling online out of context narratives. And then I'm going to respond after that. So take your time. That's all we're going to be doing again this week is answering questions. I'm going to be asking Don questions, and I'll be answering them afterwards, giving my feedback. When we get through the first 5, we'll have you take your break and come back and go over the final 5. But babe, let me ask you this before we move forward here. Taking all this in, which you have, I'm going to say you've taken it in so graciously. And I know that's funny. It's a lot.
It is a lot.
It's a lot. How has this affected you?
It's affected my whole life.
My
whole life.
It's consumed us.
It has consumed us. It has unfortunately caused some rifts with some relationships. Some of them are positive, great people that I know through YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a big thing in my life right now. And it's something I have to balance. I have to find a balance right now for my life because it is overwhelming.
Yeah, it is extremely overwhelming, especially when there are more important things in life. And right now, I'm not going to talk about this. I'm not going to be specific or anything like that. But there are some other things happening within the GNA and the people that we love and know, like, and trust. We're not going to mention anything specifically. I'm just going to say there are far more important things to deal with than this, but it has to be dealt with because, it's not right to have anyone online run a constant 6+ year smear campaign, leading people to believe that I am dangerous. And, even you people that come in today that would have otherwise probably given us a chance and become a part of our great network here that's very trustworthy and loyal, they hear the framing of the defendant and what's going on in his ecosystem, and they end up believing it.
Mm-hmm.
They do.
Yeah.
It has severely affected my reputation. It has tarnished my reputation severely. And I've had to fight hard, even throughout this whole entire case, to defend my name, my honor, and the GNA, along with you and other people in the GNA, the executives. The other executives are Sandra, Tia, and ODN. God bless all of you. By the way, happy Easter, everyone. Happy late Easter to all of you, here in America. Now, Greek Orthodox Easter 2026 is Sunday, April 12th, next week.
Next week.
So, this was actually a beautiful hybrid of doing our Easter-themed show. Of course, it's more so around online, out of context stuff, right? But doing it right in the middle between the
American
or Catholic Easter, right, versus the Greek Orthodox or Orthodox Easter, and we call it Pascha, Pascha, Pascha.
I did not know that.
You just learned it.
Well, yeah. I mean, sometimes you go over to his aunt's house, and when they're speaking in Greek, it's very quick. And so I don't pick up on those.
Oh my God.
Pronunciations.
Greeks, especially the Greek women, the old school Greek women, like my aunt, my mom, they talk 100 miles an hour.
Yes.
Or maybe like 150, 200 miles an hour.
It's mind-blowing and overwhelming. My brain wants to
Listen, I
explode.
know I can speak Greek fluently about 85, 90%, and I can't even understand sometimes what my mom and my aunt are saying when they speak 200 miles an hour in Greek.
But we had the news on yesterday in Greek.
Yeah.
And could you understand everything they were saying?
No, because they were speaking pretty fast too.
Yeah. Now, I asked your cousin if she understood everything, and she said yes. So that's probably because she's used to listening to her mother for
speaking in Greek all the
50
time.
years. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right. My father and most Greek men, they speak very slowly and methodically, right? Hello, son, how are you today, right? Tikanis, Iliad, which is, how are you doing, Elias, in Greek. My mom would be like, Tikanis, Iliad, and my dad would be like, Tikanis, Iliad. You see the difference there?
Yeah.
Right? So, I don't blame you for... I didn't even understand it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's way too fast, right?
It was like last year on Easter when we got there, your aunt came up to me and said something in Greek about, and he has risen. And I don't know if she expected me to say it back because I just stared at her blankly.
Uh-huh.
And then I think she said to you, like, you did not teach her this. Like, you should have taught her. And I still don't remember what to say. So you better...
Listen, this is not going to be like my big fat Greek wedding where you have to learn to speak Greek and then we have to baptize you Greek before we can get married, right?
No, gosh,
in
no.
the Greek dunk tank with the Greek holy oil in there and all that.
Yes. I've already been sprinkled with that. Your mother comes home and throws that on me all the time. But she throws it on you all the time, too.
You wanted to be with a Greek man, so even though I was born here, my parents came here. I'm first generation Greek American.
You make it sound like I was just looking for a Greek man.
No. You
You
were looking for a decent guy.
to be
I just happened to be Greek.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah.
But I love the culture and I love the family. I don't love all the food.
The food is good. It's very fattening, though. But anyway.
There's some stuff that I really do enjoy.
Yeah. So that this has really affected you. But at the same time, I want to thank you publicly, babe, Dawn, because you've been very supportive and it hasn't been easy. We've had our moments throughout all this. I mean, any normal couple dealing with something like this YouTuber that we've been dealing with that we're now in court with, anyone it would affect your relationship a bit, but it's up to you as a couple, how far or how long are you going to let it affect you,
Mm-hmm.
At what level? And, when we have those moments, we quickly turn it around. We talk things out. We communicate. Communication is extremely important. Go ahead, babe.
Oh, yeah. No, I totally agreeing with you.
Yeah. But yeah, it hasn't been easy. But you know what? Donna and I, we do the best we can with what we've got.
Absolutely.
And that's just the way to handle it. There's really nothing else you can do. You just take it one step at a time, one day at a time. You roll with the punches and keep moving forward.
Yeah. That's what life is.
Now, anything else, baby, that you want to bring up in the monologue? I know you had a nice conversation with your mom.
Oh, it was a beautiful conversation. Yes.
You wished her a happy Easter, so did I.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. I did find out some news that was a little disappointing. My niece, I think I said on last week's, she was accepted to Berkeley and Santa Cruz and some San Francisco and some other colleges in other states. But her dream was to go to Stanford, and she did not get accepted, unfortunately.
That's like one of the hardest schools in the country or on the planet to get accepted to, like Stanford, Harvard, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But she got into Berkeley.
That's a good school. Very good
I don't know where she's going to choose to go, but having Berkeley as an option is fantastic.
She's going to go to Santa Cruz because that's where her
dad went. She probably will go to Santa Cruz. That's where her dad went. Her dad and her are two peas in a pod, and so I can see her going there.
Santa
and
Cruz
maybe
is a hippie town.
Well, Not as much as Berkeley. Berkeley could be hippie-ish, and it could be very
Controversial.
controversial
Berkeley's more controversial than
and also
Santa Cruz.
hipster-like. They're very hipster.
Yeah.
Yeah, where
Yeah.
Santa Cruz is laid back. But my brother did go there, and he said, even though they have that kind of
Yeah.
it really isn't like that. People there are very academic.
Well, Berkeley has had a lot of feminist rallies.
Yes.
They're known for running rallies to protect women's rights, which, look, I'm all for that. And I feel women should have their rights protected, just like men have always had their rights protected. I think Berkeley, and the things that happen there regarding that take it a bit too far, regarding, the point. But I get it. There's still a lot of suppression happening nowadays regarding women. And when women experience that, they're going to talk. And, women respond to everything emotionally first based on how they're feeling in the present moment.
Absolutely.
And if a woman, goes through something that affects her civil rights, and especially, regarding work and equality and all that stuff, she's going to talk.
Yeah.
And boy, is she going to talk?
Watch out.
I've seen what happens to you when you get emotional over something.
Watch out.
Oh, man.
Yep.
That's when I go run like a 5 mile.
No, you just lock yourself in the office. You're like, I can't be interrupted for like 4 hours.
Yeah, I got to focus on this case, baby.
Yeah. And then you take your time out
do
from
what you got to do to suppress those emotions, right?
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, it's not like that, really. I mean, it's just, we're making jokes. We're exaggerating is what we're
Mariah
doing.
Carey had that song, "You've Got Me Feeling Emotions."
Yes, that was Mariah. That was Mariah.
I'm not going to try to
Don't.
hit that high.
Don't.
It's like,
you would break the computer and every glass in this house.
I wouldn't want to ruin my Shure SM7B.
And blow the dog's eardrums out.
That is true. They can hear us 20 times louder, 20 times greater than human hearing. Right?
Yeah,
they have supersonic ears.
Yeah, so let's just not do that.
Anyway, anything else, baby?
No.
All right, let's get right to it. We have 10 questions here that I'm going to ask Dawn, and then I'm going to share my thoughts after she responds. All of these questions are regarding our topic, once again, handling online out-of-context narratives. So we're going to get through the first 5, then Dawn will take her break, and we'll go through the final 5 when she gets back. Question number 1, babe. This is the foundation question. Do you think most people can actually tell when something is taken out of context, or do they just react to what they see? That's a great question to start it off.
You know what? This has been a problem of mine for many, many years now, is when you text or put a message in, you don't get to put your actual emotion into it.
Right.
And so people are not understanding the context of where you're coming from. They see words and they don't see emotion or what somebody might really be trying to say. Like, I can't even think of an instance of, maybe it's just so minor, but it does affect you. But yeah, that's my big thing. It's just, you cannot communicate efficiently through a text or an email. You have to talk to people to feel that emotion, to see where they are, emotionally, and how to handle that situation. You might think somebody is attacking you or yelling at you, and that's not the case. Maybe they didn't know their thing was in caps and it sounded like they were yelling.
Right.
It's just, you really need to talk to humans. It's basically how I feel, in order to get the real picture of what somebody's trying to say.
It's a very good point. Anything else you want to add to that, babe?
No.
So my thoughts, do I think most people can tell when something is taken out of context, or do they just react to what they see? I think when it comes to the online world, because that's where we're focused. In the real world, you have real world interaction. You're having a back and forth with people that are right in front of you, face to face, right, or in a group. You can sense the emotion in front of you, and you can say, come on, you're just kidding, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in the online world, when there are creators out there like the one that I'm in court with, that I've sued practically for this situation here, they can spin things in ways that come off believable. Now, is everyone going to believe those things? No, but many people will. And especially if a creator does similar things like he does, this guy chooses selective clips. Many of them have been from privately recorded conversations, illegally recorded conversations, things that were supposed to stay private, but they were leaked and they weren't even about him. But he basically took all that stuff where I was venting, just trying to protect myself from people online, including him back then. And because of what was happening to me back then, that's still happening now. And I hadn't learned how to handle it as best as possible like I have today. I was under a lot of extreme emotional distress, and I said some things privately to vent to the people I was talking to.
Mm-hmm.
And then he took those leaked clips and tried to frame me as dangerous to his audience, when that doesn't define who I am. I've never been dangerous. We've all vented privately. We've all had moments like that. I never took any of those actions. And within our court case, I've even sent him a notice of, of correction to correct his false statements, and never responded to it. Obviously, if he were to do that, it'd be like admitting, guilt. But at least you put that in there to show that, hey, you documented it for the court. But the thing is, most people, I don't think, can tell when something is taken out of context. They just simply will react to what they see. And if you're, another creator on YouTube like me that's been affected by it, it's affected your growth, because your reputation affects your growth. You got to stand up to it. And if it gets to the point of where it doesn't stop after years and it keeps affecting you, your only option is civil court. Go ahead. I
don't know if this is an upcoming question, but I was going to also say, taking things out of context in the chats. Somebody could literally say something in the chat that was really funny. Mm-hmm. And
the YouTube live stream chats is what you're talking about. Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. And then you didn't see that comment right away. So like 3 comments down, you're laughing, but it doesn't have to be in coordination with what the person doing the show is saying at that time. So it's like a conversation in the chat, not necessarily always discussing the same thing as the streamer. We get into our own little conversations. And I, happened to do that one time, and it was taken out of context, and I felt bad because it wasn't meant for that person.
And that's exactly what people like the person I'm suing do. That is their content. They're basically the people that create in the style that he creates, basically are creating content from conflict. And if you've become a target of someone's audience within their channel, that creator, in order to keep that audience around, has to continue the conflict going. And when there's nothing new, a lot of times they'll make things up.
Yeah.
And they do it in ways where it comes off believable when it's not true at all. It's taken way out of context, right?
Yes.
So go ahead.
No, I want to get to the next question, because I don't know if some of these things I'm going to say are going to be with some of the questions.
They might. That's okay.
Yeah, but I'd rather answer those with the questions. So
okay,
let's go to 2.
You get bored easily, and you don't like to repeat things.
I don't like to repeat things. It's very repetitive.
I totally get it. All right, question number 2, babe. Mm-hmm. This is regarding first impression versus reality. Don, how much damage can a short clip or partial story actually do before the full context ever comes out?
It's very dangerous. It's so easy for people just to see things and believe them. Oh, it's been said for years, don't believe everything you see on the internet. You can't. You are taking people that are giving their own opinions of who you are without truly knowing who you are. So you have to be self-confident about all of that, not let that bother you. But the problem is that you don't know how many people are taking what that person is saying and staying away from us, It doesn't affect me with my friends and family. They laugh at it. They think it's the funniest thing. But, when it does come down to it, it can be a very dangerous thing as well.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Do you want to hear my...
Let's go.
So how much damage can a short clip or partial story actually do before the full context ever comes out? It can absolutely destroy someone. Just like that, especially in the online world where we're all living nowadays. Now, we live in the real world, but even most of us that live in the real world, we have an online presence, and that's where we create content, run businesses, promote businesses, right? And our reputation, is critical. It's critical. Now, I've gone out there many times as a general statement, and so have you, where we've said, we don't really give a shit about what anyone thinks about us, right?
Yeah.
Which, to a certain extent, we don't. But what we mean when we say that is if people are insulting us, that's protected speech. People can call you, any insulting name. We're not going to say any here right now because we're trying to keep this clean. But, insult us all you want, make fun of us, poke fun at us, no worries. But if you're going to try to paint us as criminals, that's something serious that really severely affects your reputation. And so, I can say what would be one example of how this has been taken out of context? Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say for myself, I spoke based on being a regular person on YouTube. You have a completely different perspective as a business owner when it comes to that on YouTube. It's more serious. You know what I'm saying?
No,
because you're defending your business, and the things that anybody could do could actually affect your business. Things they're doing to me don't really affect my life. Not real life.
Right. And I'm looking at right here. Okay. So one of the things the defendant has done, this is an example of being taken out of context. And I'm looking at one of my filings that I filed recently. I'm not going to show it on the screen here. His girlfriend, who's anonymous, was in the chat and made this chat message. I'm gonna
clean it up.
Well, I'm gonna paraphrase it.
Okay.
Eli digs up information to try and put out publicly, and he has threatened some very disgusting things. It is worrisome and gross. And then, the defendant said, that's exactly why I tried to get the order.
Mm-hmm.
He tried to get a stalking order on me in Florida after two other people in the same ecosystem during the previous year and a half also tried to get a stalking order on me written similarly as his, and they both failed to appear at their hearing. This guy actually showed up at the hearing and lost the case after 20 minutes for insufficient evidence. He goes, that's exactly why I tried to get the order. This guy is dangerous. He emphasized that he does disgusting things. If I have to go to court to protect my family, I will do that. What have I done to you, sir, that warrants you, feeling that, I'm dangerous? And the funny thing, after he loses the case 1 day later as part of the filing, he says, let me make this one thing clear. I'm not afraid of that, and he insulted me. He called me a name. I'm not afraid of that, Eli, and I'm not going to say the insults, right? But here's the thing, okay? There's one thing for someone to have a private conversation and vent and sound threatening on a private conversation that was meant to be private. It's another thing to make a public threat like that, right? And so if these recordings were never leaked and taken out of context by the defendant, no one would ever know about them. I haven't done anything to anyone ever.
Yeah.
And I haven't even overreacted privately in this way in over 5 years. But this guy wants to paint me as I'm just a dangerous person that flies off the handle. He knows I'm not, but it works for his audience, keeps making him money. So he's continuing to try to take things out of context to spin that narrative. And that's why we're in court. That's why we're in court. So, the framing is presented before the introduction of any underlying source material and establishes a narrative that the subsequent clips are used to support. And that's what this guy does. He takes selective, out of context clips that don't involve him, that were, leaked from private, illegally recorded calls that I never authorized. I'm in a two-party state here in California, recording for audio consent, and so is Florida. They're a two-party state. And even the defendant has actually recorded me when I first was getting to know him. My first conversation with him was on Google Hangouts like 8 or 9 years ago. And he recorded that without my permission and then ended up putting it public. There was nothing I said wrong in there. I was just trying to help him. But you see, this guy's been doing this, for years. And not just to me, to many people, because doing things the right way wouldn't keep that audience around. But he could create something more normal and decent and build a different audience. It would take a bit more work than just running drama content that anyone can get traction off of, but he doesn't want to do that. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I have nothing else to add.
So yeah, that's, how much damage a short clip can do.
Yeah.
Right. And again, you look at it this way. It's one thing, to vent behind the scenes and then be framed as I've threatened things. I haven't threatened anything improper publicly. Now, have I said, hey, if you guys don't stop violating my copyright, I'm going to take you down the legal way through the copyright system or in court? These people will say, oh, that's a threat. No, that's a promise. That's basically me saying, look, I'm giving you a chance to change your behavior before I enforce my legal rights on you.
Yeah.
That's all I'd say. And you see how they take it out of context? They say, oh, Eli's threatening. Every single thing to this motherfucker, pardon my French, is a threat. Right?
Yeah.
Now, it really isn't, but he plays it off. He plays it off because it's very profitable to him, and he has to keep the Eli thing going.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the thing. So anyway, let's get to question number 3. We are at 38 minutes. Good timing, baby. Good timing. All right, babe, Dawn. Question number 3. Intent versus outcome. Do you think, Dawn, people who share things out of context always know what they're doing, or sometimes they just don't care? Great question.
I think a lot of people absolutely know what they're doing and they don't care. Absolutely. They know what they're doing and they simply don't care how it's going to affect other people or how it represents them as people. They take that bullet. They know they're going to look like an asshole, but they're going to take that because it's going to be profitable to still do a restream on Eli and make fun of him in every way possible.
Yeah, what Dawn is saying, this particular creator I'm suing has rebroadcasted my entire, from beginning to end, live streams over the last, I'd say, 6+ years, at least 500 times.
Yes.
And he has put rainbow sex toys in my mouth while I'm walking. He's put pink brassieres on me. He's put MAGA, make America great again hats on me, which the MAGA hat, I could let that slide, but the sexualized stuff is demeaning. The MAGA hat, okay, fine. Maybe parody, I can give him that. But as far as the sexualizing of it, the dehumanization aspect of it, that is wrong. And so he would do that. He didn't do really any substantial commentary. I mean, it's all insulting. And I have looked into even fair use laws, like just simply insulting someone and not responding to their actual content is not transformative in nature. And they know that.
Yeah.
But until they get held accountable in court, which no one's ever held accountable, like I'm holding this guy accountable now, they keep going. So that's why we're in court.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, that's the thing there. I wanted to make it clear before you continue there that, yeah, like this has been like commercial exploitation by way of massive copyright infringement, siphoning my real-time engagement by rebroadcasting me in real time from beginning to end. Literally, this guy would wait for me to go live. He hasn't done it in a while. Now he has other people in his ecosystem doing it, and that's another story for another time. But, he would just wait for me to go live and start the stream, and people would just show up, and he would insult, and he kept making money. And it got to the point of where I told him to stop. He wouldn't stop. And now we're in court.
Yeah.
That's it. So what else did you want to say about intent versus outcome? Do you think people who share things out of context always know what they're doing, or sometimes they just don't care?
Sometimes I think they don't realize it, but those are going to be very subtle things that they, take out of context. The other one is, major. I mean, they can majorly say things that are out of context to change somebody's mind regarding that. So sometimes there could be subtle ones, but most of it's very drastic and dramatic.
Anything else, babe?
Nope.
Let me share my thoughts on that. Do I think people who share things out of context always know what they're doing, or sometimes they just don't care? I think they know what they're doing 100% of the time, and I think they don't care 100% of the time. I honestly think it's intentionally done. Whether it's done in the real world or online, there's a purpose for it. And it's because people that are insecure do it because they cannot win on the actual merits. Like this guy I'm suing, I've made some great filings that he can talk about them. He's gone over some of the case files on his live streams. But he never, ever actually tackles the merits of the case. He's always insulting and always trying to take things out of context, because if he tackles the actual merits, he's going to lose.
Yeah.
Not only online, but in court. Right? And so I think this has to do a lot. With people's mindset, and more so how they feel about themselves. Some people feel like, hey, you know what? I'm really nothing special. When everyone is special in their own certain way, you just have to understand it, right? And live your purpose. First, you have to figure out what your purpose is, which is what I think this guy's struggling with. But I think it's a lack of purpose and a lack of self-love, and a lack of self-confidence, that if he were to create something more substantial and non-drama, that it wouldn't get him the same results. And if that's the way he feels about himself, not only will he never get the results if he ever goes down that route, but eventually this whole drama thing that, he thinks is sustainable is going to implode at some point, especially, after a court adjudicates,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah. So I use him as an example because it's a perfect example. He knows exactly what he's doing 100% of the time. He doesn't care 100% of the time. He's a performer on YouTube. And that's what it boils down to. But here's the thing. If you guys are watching this on the day it's released, tomorrow at the major hearing, he can't perform in court. Well, he could, but that would piss off the Honorable Judge Susan Stacy, and she wouldn't buy it.
No.
Right? So YouTube, he performs. Court, hopefully he doesn't. If he does try to perform in court, it's only going to help my cause better.
Right?
Right? But that's what it boils down to. Anything else, babe, or should we go to number 4?
Let's go to 4.
Okay, we're at 45 minutes. This is beautiful. Number 4, babe, this is one we've talked about a lot. This is what that guy loves to do, the guy I'm suing. Control of narrative. Oh, God. Oh, look at her.
Control of narrative.
Control of narrative. Dawn,
So
who really...
What? I'm sorry?
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that is what happens so much, is that somebody will hear, you'll say something. They will take that one bit of information and they will create their own narrative. They will create the reasons to why it happened and why this person is the way that they are. It's just insane.
Insane in the membrane.
Insane in the membrane.
Right.
It just blows my mind how people can act like this when they're adults.
Oh, this defendant guy, I'll tell you, he is the master of taking things out of context. I think he's redefined the phrase out of context. I think he himself is out of context, in my opinion.
Well, I think he's kind of checked out mentally I think it's been so mentally overwhelming.
There's some underlying trauma that's unresolved that, he shields from having to address even at age 40 right now. He does that by insulting people, defaming them, by making parody of them. Like, he should really tackle the underlying issue, and I think that would really start to turn it around. But
well, for instance, this defendant that Eli is speaking of, while he was growing up, he experienced some things. He saw some things that were disturbing and probably traumatized him. So now he's projecting and calling Eli the thing that he hated while he was growing up. Yeah, he calls me the CUCK word. He's also gone publicly and stated many times that his parents have an open relationship. They've had one since his younger days. And, I can only imagine how a young child seeing a third party coming into the household every so often is going to take that. I mean, honestly, if I'm speaking about myself, if my parents ever did that, I'd be traumatized for life. It would be way too confusing. And then once the kid actually picks up on it, then that's what knocks them over.
Right.
Once they figure it out, they're like, holy shit.
If I had to guess, I'm not a therapist or anything like that. I'm just stating my opinion. If I had to guess, I think the trauma stems from seeing that. And the fact that, in my opinion, I believe his mother wears the pants in the marriage. And so he's perceiving his father to be weak. And honestly, here's the thing, no disrespect. I mean, from what I've seen of his parents when he's put them online a few times, and I've seen them in some other videos, right? They're pretty nice people.
Oh, yeah.
But the bottom line is, when a little boy looks up to his father growing up, they look at him as the authoritative figure. And if the mother is the authority, now listen, both men and women are equal, don't get me wrong. But, when a boy looks up to his father for strength and sees weakness and sees the strength through his mother, they're going to get confused. Right?
Yeah. I mean, as kids, what did we all hear? Just wait until your
father gets home.
Yeah. It's
oh my God. My mother.
Oh, I would hide.
I cannot count the times. It's so many where my mother said, wait until your father gets home. And
yeah. Yeah, and then it's like, oh crap! Now I really messed up.
When Dad would come home, we would run to our room and lock the door.
Hide under the bed, in the closet, wherever. Oh,
son, where are you? Son, and then you hear my dad go around. Sons, where are you, sons? We'd be we'd be like all quiet and shit.
I can imagine that.
But that's honestly. with no disrespect intended, I think that's what's been affecting him traumatically. He's been holding on to that resentment towards his family, even though I believe he loves his parents.
Oh, yeah. Nobody's denying that.
No, I believe he loves his parents, but he is holding on to resentment.
Yeah, there's going to be issues.
Yeah.
And I just believe, in my opinion, they have not addressed them in a clinical setting.
Well, he moved back home with his parents,
Mm-hmm.
and no problem, that's fine. But he's now 40 years old and living in a house where, I'm not accusing, I'm just saying his parents may still be in an open relationship. So it's like I don't even know. I gotta I've got to let's just move on.
We had normal mommies and daddies.
Yeah. Okay, so who really controls the narrative online? The person telling the story or the person the story is about? So
we covered that one.
But I never responded. You and I were talking. What I was saying is, who really controls the narrative online?
Stog.
The person the story is about is the one that controls the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Because here's the thing. The other person that's telling the story is trying to paint you in a certain way, usually for YouTube content, right? And even if they're defaming you, like I've been defamed, or they're lying or whatever, right? You have the right to defend yourself. And that's all I've ever done. Now, if, the other person's audience is bigger or has grown due to a drama audience, or has grown because people that used to support you not support him because he poached them years ago with all this defamatory stuff and fake lies, that makes it much harder to deal with. And you get stuck in this ecosystem where it's hard to get out because YouTube is classifying you all as one group of creators and one ecosystem when we're not. We've been trying to separate ourselves for years, and that's why we're also in court. But that's why I've realized staying quiet is not the thing to do, even during active litigation. A lot of people are saying, Eli keeps talking and he's giving you the case. No. I am talking to defend my name and honor because the wheels of justice turn slowly, and I'm not going to let people destroy my reputation in the meantime before the court intervenes. Mm-hmm. That's just common sense right there. So, the person that truly controls the narrative is the person the story is about. The person telling the story, if he's not corrected, or he or she is not corrected, that could be perceived as real online, even if it's not. So if you don't respond to the person telling the story, then they are controlling the narrative. You have to step in and regain control of your own narrative.
Pull it back.
Right. Anything else, baby, or should we get to the final one before break?
Yes.
Baby, this is going to be your favorite one because it has your favorite word. Number 5, baby, emotional reaction.
Oh, emotional.
Emotional reaction.
Yes.
Let me ask you the question, Dawn. Why do you think people react so quickly to out-of-context content instead of asking questions first? That's a great billion-dollar question, babe.
Because people live off of their emotions. Women more so than men, but I'm finding in today's time, we have a lot of bitch-made men. And so they react just like a woman would react instead of thinking things out logically. That's what's happening in today's world. And, the only way we can change it is to not be like that.
Good point. Anything else?
No.
So why do I think people react so quickly to out-of-context content instead of asking questions first? Because people that are a part of these online drama ecosystems
get emotionally attached.
They are. Well, whether it's the creator or the people in the audience, right? The fixation becomes a target, like myself, for example.
Yeah.
The defendant has painted me in a certain way to the audience. The reason why they've picked me is because I'm a decent, down-to-earth person. I have a good family, live in a nice area, and I firmly believe that most of these people look at you and I and wish they could have the life we have,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of how they react to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so because of that, that's part of the reason why they keep on trying to drag us down. And the defendant in this case will prey on the vulnerabilities of what he knows those people are there for. The people in the drama audience are there to keep their mind off their own misery. So all of those people that participate in a group like this on YouTube, for example, are there to get their mind off of their own traumas and other things that they don't want to deal with, which is not the right way to handle it. Like, if you leave issues unresolved within yourself, especially mental, emotional, traumatic issues, that could scar you for life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to affect you until you yourself address those issues and not try to mask your pain by following some YouTube content creator that's painting someone you perceive to be better than you, that's painting them as a dangerous person like me, right? And I'm not trying to come out and say I'm better than anyone. I'm just saying myself as the example here. These people react so quickly instead of asking questions because they don't care about whether what the guy is saying is right or wrong. What they care about is, just some guy beating up someone online that the audience perceives to be better than them. Mm-hmm. Because if they didn't perceive me to be better than them, why would they attack me? If I was at their level or lower than them, which I'm not trying to compare, I'm just saying, like, there'd be no reason for them to, get anything out of that. It's because these people look at you and I and they want to be in our position. And I'm not just talking about financially or where we live or the homes we live in or our families, estates or whatever. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the healthy relationship we have, the communication we have, the loyalty and the love that we truly have for each other, right? It more so even boils down to that. The other stuff, they just, they may be a little bit jealous of, or they just use it as an additional hammering of their context of the way they take us out of context. But that's what it's all about. Does that make sense to you?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. So anything else, babe?
No.
Okay. Let me turn off the camera here and have you go and step away to take your first break and only break. We are at 57 minutes. While Dawn goes and takes her break, let me remind each and every one of you that are listening to us on the audio only or throughout the audio only podcast network, such as Apple, Spotify, Amazon's Music, my lady's favorite, iHeartRadio, Amazon's Audible. Also, Amazon has music and Audible sharing podcasts. We're also on YouTube's Music, it's interesting because obviously YouTube Music is owned by YouTube. And if you have YouTube Premium, I believe you get YouTube Music, for free, on that. And when you're on YouTube Music, you can also watch the video version there or the audio only version because again, YouTube Music's owned by YouTube/Google. Or anywhere else where our podcast is audio only, there are many other platforms that are not as well known. Do a Google search for the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast, and you'll find us where we're at. If you're listening to us audio only and you want to watch the video version on our main channel, G&A, Genuine Personal Development, go to the description section of the audio only site you're on. Halfway down, you'll see the link there. Click it. It'll redirect you back again to our main channel, G&A, Genuine Personal Development. When you go there, subscribe, bang the bell, select the notifications so you don't miss anything. And then go in that description section of that video. About a couple lines down, you'll see the link to our secondary live streaming channel, which is GNA2, Genuine Live Personal Development, where we go live regularly on that channel. Lately, I've been going live every other day. Usually I go live almost every day, if not every day. I've just had a lot of work to do for this court case. But we go live several times a week on GNA2, Genuine Live Personal Development. I typically will do a Walking with Purpose stream almost every day, if not every day when possible. Sometimes we'll do On the Couch with Don and Eli streams. Sometimes we'll do Driving with Purpose streams from the road if we're going somewhere. Sometimes we'll even do in-studio streams together with Don or I. Make sure, if you want to catch those when we do them, subscribe to GNA2, Genuine Live Personal Development. Bang the bell. Select the notifications so you don't miss anything. And that is that. Perfect timing. Dawn's getting her headphones back on.
All right.
And she will tell me when to turn the camera back on.
Good now.
Are we good?
We're great.
Okay. Camera's back on. We're in sync.
Wonderful.
All right. Welcome back, baby.
Thank you.
You are
It was perfect timing.
Absolutely. Well, I time it that way.
Thank you.
I time it that way. Sometimes I'll slow down the delivery or speed it up as you're coming back in a little bit, you know.
Yeah, no, it's very nice. And I'm sorry if that gives a little lag time, guys. It's just, it's necessary.
It gives me the time to promote to the audio-only audience that they can go in the description and go and watch us on YouTube on the video and hang out with us more often there than just once a week audio only, right?
Very true. Very true.
Yeah. So, all right. Before we get to the second half, anything you want to mention, my love?
No, we're doing great.
All right. We are at 1 hour and 1 minute. Let's get to question number 6. This is regarding personal impact. Don, what do you think is harder? Dealing with what's being said or knowing people are believing something that isn't fully true? That's a great question.
It's really hard knowing that people are out there thinking different than what you actually are. They're going off of what others say before actually talking to me and get to know me. That's a really hard thing for me because, I don't just look at somebody or I don't hear about somebody and just automatically start to make rumors. If I don't know that person, who am I to say anything? I don't know them personally at all. I mean, if one of my friends wants to call me and vent about one of their other friends and I don't know anything about them, I'm not going to sit there and just put them down because she's putting them down. I'm going to listen to her. I'm going to encourage her. I'm going to be there for inspiration and not to be like, oh yeah, that girl's a bitch. Let's go bad girls club on her. Mm-hmm. Like, no, we're too old for that. We're done with the clap back.
Yeah, no, well said. Well said. Anything else you want to add to that, babe?
Oh, no.
That was well said. For me, what do I think is harder, dealing with what's being said or knowing people are believing something that isn't fully true? What I care more about, both things matter.
Oh, yeah, they're both important.
Both of them matter, but what matters more to me is the perception of people, the perception of the public based on what's being said, in this case by the guy I'm suing, for example. So, I mean, they both matter, but what's harder to deal with is knowing people are believing something that isn't fully true or isn't true at all.
Well, yeah.
That in there. Go ahead.
It's like when you get somebody new into a community and they haven't been there very long, but within a month, they have so many opinions about you. And that's all they want to do is just talk shit about you so they feel better about their own life. And that's just, it's really sad.
That's called the projection.
It's so sad to live in a life like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you're upset about something in your own life, change it. Change it. Don't project it onto somebody else.
Yeah, focus more on bettering yourself than supporting drama creators taking innocent people out of context by defaming them and lying about them. Right? I mean, honestly, like, would you want it done to you? These people don't care As long as it's not happening to them. But
Yeah.
once it happens to them, all of a sudden they care now, right?
Yeah. And, that kind of happened with me with my
Yeah.
drinking. When I was drinking, they all had a perception of me. And I didn't like the way they were talking. So I made a change and I stopped drinking. And that has been a tremendously good change in my life.
I got to give you some. Double high five. Triple.
After
quadruple.
I stopped drinking, what people said didn't matter.
And it still doesn't matter.
Still doesn't matter.
Right.
Because I am self-confident. I know that I'm worth everything. And whatever anybody else says doesn't matter as long as I believe in myself.
Because you kept playing that song, 'Cause I'm Worth It. Remember that song?
Yeah. Yeah, country song.
Yeah. You played that song over and over again.
Religiously.
Huh?
It was like my own therapy.
Yeah. I remember you and I would be driving back and forth from Hollister, right? When we first started going out before you moved in. And you play that song. It really touched me emotionally too. A lot of those songs touched me because we're all emotional. We all have emotions. But I'm a guy that is very much in touch with my emotions. So things will hit me probably harder than the typical guy. That's because I have a deep understanding of people in general, and I'm very compassionate. And I even have compassion for people that have harmed me. Honestly, for this guy I'm suing, I do feel for him because I am empathetic. But just because I feel for him doesn't take away from what he's actually done to cause me reputational harm and other stuff over the years that have affected me from being able to function and run my business and all that. But I do deeply care about people, and hearing those songs, I felt your pain. Go ahead.
I would say I have about 6 or 7 songs that are my inspiration songs, and they range from country to rap to alternative.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the song Sunny Side Up by Surfaces is great.
Mm-hmm.
Basically tells you just to rise above. And then, rise up. Going into Rise Up. Going into Fight Song. Going into Joker by Dax. Yeah, there's so many that make me feel like these clowns out there mean nothing. That I'm so much better than what they are saying.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anything else, babe? Should we get number 7?
Let's go.
All right. Number 7 is about respond or ignore. So, Dawn, when something is taken out of context, do you think it is better to respond and correct it or ignore it completely? This is a great question.
Great question. I would say for myself that 90% of the time I ignore it. I see it. I don't say anything about it. I let it go. If I talk about it, it's to Eli here at home. But I just let it go. Really. It only hits, I think, when it's something that I'm going through in life and they pick up on that. And then they go after that one thing and they try to just chisel you down. So, did I answer that correctly?
You did.
Okay, perfect.
Because I don't control you.
Well, I know, but I was hoping I hit everything in the question is what I'm saying.
I respect your opinion.
Okay, but I hit all the questions in that question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, you want me to give you my response?
Yeah.
Respond or ignore. So when something is taken out of context, do you think it's better to respond and correct it or ignore it completely? It depends. Here's what it depends on. I've learned a lot through this circuit civil case. And I will say this, a lot of people criticize me. They say ChatGPT is my best friend. Maybe so. I know how to use AI properly, and I use it as an analytical tool. I don't use it to mock or meme people. I use it for strategy, and I use it for analysis of strategy. Mm-hmm. And analyzing things super, super fast. Like, I got to tell you, my productivity has literally gone up by over 1,000% since I started using ChatGPT, and now I've learned to use it even more efficiently and effectively.
Yeah.
And you've seen it. right?
Oh, I've used it for a lot of things in my own life, questioning things and just random
Random stuff.
things. If I don't know, what time the Giants play today? Just if
it
I'm
tells
not
you what channel they're on. Everything.
Yeah. It's just like random things I'll use it for.
You're learning to love. You're like, this is great.
I know. I don't need to get up off the couch. I can just like literally ask.
The remote's there for you. You got your phone with ChatGPT. It's all good.
Yeah, and I'm not saying I'm lazy or anything, but it's like I don't have to get up and say, "Come help me find this game" to Eli. It's like it's right there for me.
So it depends on whether it's an insult or if it's truly defamatory. So now, people on YouTube insult people all day, every day. And as much as I'm trying to minimize my insults, sometimes I insult people, especially in this case. There are times where even to the defendant, he still insults me during active litigation. So I've insulted him. Is it right? No, but we're human.
And there are sometimes you insult somebody and you have no idea you've done it.
Right.
And that's a bad situation if you don't respond back to that person and let them know how you're feeling.
Yeah.
That's a snowball effect.
Like, here's the thing. Insults are protected speech. They are not actionable in court.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is, if someone's insulting you, that doesn't mean you need to go tit for tat and go back and forth. But if it gets to the point of where, hey, you know what? Hey, you deserve to have your say. I can understand it every now and then. Everyone is human, but try to avoid the insults as much as possible. When it comes to insults, you should choose to ignore at least most of them.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if someone's constantly insulting you every now and then, say, hey, look, this guy's just insulting me, has no other content, no big deal. Now, if somebody is defaming your character, trying to paint you as a criminal or something like that, that's serious stuff. That's something that, if that keeps happening, you may need to do some full videos on that, or live streams, or a combination of both. Correct the record, make your audience aware that this is not true. Because if you don't respond to it at all, it can be perceived as true online and affect your future growth.
Yeah, and like the ironic thing about that is, okay, say once again not everything you said, but your point, basically.
My point is, insults are not actionable in court, but defamation is. So focus more on the defamation and ignore most insults.
Yes, and the irony behind that is people are now taking those insults and making the insult defamatory.
Correct. Amen.
And that's where
they're taking it further out of context.
Yes.
To make it more damning to keep the audience around, which then makes it defamatory, depending on what they're saying. If they're trying to use those insults and then add along, this is what makes Eli a dangerous person, right?
Yes, it's like calling Eli a criminal, but what you're doing, in fact, by painting him as a criminal, is a criminal act. It's not a criminal act. Like, you won't go to jail.
It's a civil tort.
Yes.
I'm sorry for correcting you.
That's
in real
okay.
time.
Be in your lawyer, criminal, court speak. I don't care. I'm saying it in layman's term.
Well, what I'm saying is, legally, the law, it's not criminal. It's a civil matter.
I understand.
And you can be held accountable in the civil court for that.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what I was trying to say. I used the wrong terminology, and I don't get insulted at all when you correct it, because your head and your brains and everything are in that right now.
Oh, yeah. God, it's knee deep.
Yes.
Knee deep, baby.
So, you could almost be a second-year law student at this point.
I appreciate the compliment, baby, but it is what it is. I get it. Like a junior attorney, right?
Yeah, it's my baby.
All right, baby. Thank you for that. All right. Should we go on to number 8?
Yeah.
Number 8. Power of full context. This is important. Dawn, how important is it to show full context? And do you think people actually take the time to look at it when it is provided?
I think it's completely appropriate to put out there the right content.
Context.
Context. I mean, those
T-E-X-T,
two words.
like a text.
I get those words mixed up in my. I know what I'm saying.
Let me make it simple for you.
Context. Yeah.
You know, con artist. Think of a con artist with the first part, and then think of a text message. Say con text.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get it, but you know what? My brain
On the fly.
My brain says that, but my mouth doesn't.
Your brain processes quicker than mine. Like, they're not a bad thing. Like, your brain is racing.
Yes.
But go ahead. No disrespect intended.
Okay, say what you had to say again, because you know me and my distractions.
Okay, so you're talking the power of full context. How important is it to show full context? And do you think people actually take the time to look at it when it is provided?
I think it's important to share full context when it's necessary. I just listened to a stream this morning. I won't mention the creator, but she was being threatened to have a family member doxxed for activity that they had done.
Ooh.
I found it very professional the way she responded, in the sense that, you know, that is my cousin. That has no reflection on me. She actually played the news, on what they did on the news. She read all of the stuff, like with the police report, and she said, yes, this is what he did. And this is what he's serving. And he deserves it. So now what are you going to do? Now what are you going to say? I put it all out there.
Yeah, bad boys, what you going to do? What you going to do when they come for you?
But she did it in such a professional way that I did not feel she had malice or anything towards that person. She was strictly correcting the record.
Well, here's the thing. When you correct the record, the more you do it, people like the guy I'm suing that lives off of taking things out of context as his content for money, that affects his business. And so that's why people like him keep amping it up and reacting, because they have to keep trying to prove the opposite of what's true. And they do that to try to keep their audience around. But here's what I've noticed, even in this guy's audience, I'm really beginning to see people seeing the truth. And, you know, now that I've taken action, unfortunately, if you can't resolve things with someone, like I've been trying to resolve it with this guy for years, but every time I've tried to resolve it with him, he's told me to shove it up my you-know-what and giving me the bird, the middle finger. And so after getting the bird about 10 times over the years, and after he shoved it up my culo 10 times, you know, started to hurt a little bit there. So I
chafed a little bit, huh?
Yeah. So I said, screw it, we're going to court. Like, you know, that's your only option at that point. Regarding full context, you have anything else you want to add to that?
Nope. No.
I honestly feel when it comes to straight up insults, again, that's something you can be like, man, you're just insulting. You have nothing else, right? They're not defaming you. They're not accusing you of criminal activity or, you know, falsely painting you in a false light or anything like that. I think when it steps into defamatory territory, you have to show the full context. Especially if you're in court, then that's the only way you're going to win your case. You got to show the full context. This guy, even in the courts and the filings, is so out of whack, out of context. And everybody on his side knows it. Even people that are close to him, they know it. But the way that they act on the front lines is like, he's right, and everything I've done to correct the record and all that is going to affect my case, and the defendant's going to win and I'm going to lose at the major hearing, you know, on Thursday, April 9th, which if you're watching this, the day of release is tomorrow, right? And so it is important to show the full context of a situation like this, not only within the court filings professionally, right? But also, if you're on YouTube, it's a YouTube thing. That's affecting your reputation. You've got to clearly state it to your audience. And you also want to do it in a way where even the opposite audience is seeing it, because here's the thing. After a while, even people that are a part of a drama group, you know, if they're constantly correcting the creator they follow. And there's nothing substantially new.
Mm-hmm.
Even they're going to start to see there's something not right here. We've been led to believe something all this time that's been taken way out of context. And then they start to put themselves in my shoes. Whether they like me or not, forget about that. People are human. They're going to be like, if I was in this position, how would I feel? So how can I hold that against Eli just because this guy's painted Eli in a negative light? And initially, because I didn't know Eli or know the situation, I went along with it. But now I'm seeing what's really going on. Right? And so full context, is absolutely critical when it comes to reputational harm. And the way reputational harm typically happens is when people accuse you of like criminal activity and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much, that's pretty much what, I mean, there are some other defamatory things you can say about people. But primarily it's typically when people, paint you as a criminal and they state, false statements as facts, like Eli embezzled money from his former company, Eli is dangerous, Eli sexually harassed my parents. And that's when the sexual harassment really started. Few days, this guy mentions that, few days after, his stalking case on me was dismissed for insufficient evidence 20 minutes after the hearing started. So, and anyway, anything else you want to throw in on that, babe?
No. I think we got it.
All right. Let's move on to number 9. We are at 1 hour and 21 minutes. Good timing.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9 is the long-term effect, baby. Dawn, do out-of-context narratives fade over time, or can they stick with someone long-term even after being corrected? This is great. Go ahead.
I do think that they could fade in time as long as people don't keep feeding into the drama. As long as they don't keep paying for more drama and more drama, it will eventually die. But when people are getting the donations, when they are getting the people in there chatting and whatever, they're going to continue it until the end of time. That's how I feel.
Why?
What?
Why?
Why? Because if they're getting away with it, then why not? Why not just keep doing it?
And what's the major benefit?
Money.
There you go. Now, she gets it. When I first met her, she was new to this. She caught on pretty quick. Then people started attacking her. She learned to deal with that. She's become a lot stronger over the years, like Teflon. Now she understands the context of all this. She gets it. And she stood by me while going through other things, other unresolved traumas in her life from her family and all that. And she worked through it. And look at her now. And people still want to kick her down on YouTube. Why? Because they want to be her.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Listen, these people can sit there and criticize us. They can criticize us on our age, our looks, or whatever. But the bottom line is that we are a million times happier than you folks are. And we just hope one day you can realize that and focus on just turning things around so you can be happy within yourself too.
You know what? And our looks and our age do not define us. Nothing, except for right now, today, what you're putting out there today. But what I'm saying as far as looks and all that, you don't have to be a model. You could be an average looking person, Crap, lost my train of thought.
It's okay. Do you want me to respond to it?
Yes. And if I think of what I was going to say, then I'll pop in.
Long-term effect. Do out-of-context narratives fade over time, or can they stick with someone long-term even after being corrected? So, for most people, are you okay?
Oh, yeah, my back itches.
Oh, okay. You just reacted fairly quickly, and I can pick up on that.
It was like a nerve that surged there.
Oh, I get it. Most out-of-context narratives do fade over time. Most people are not going to continue to carry on a narrative for 6-7 years. This guy I'm suing has not been able to stop constantly. That's why we're in court. That's why I seriously think in my opinion, there's some unresolved trauma that he's attached, feeling that he has the right to continue to do this to me, and then try to label it as parody, satire, fair use, copyright, freedom of speech. Like people like him that sit there and constantly try to wave the American flag. Listen, I'm an American too. I'm Greek American. I was born here, but I'm American. So is Don. Like, listen to me. I love the country and I'm all for the flag and all that. But this is the guy that's coming up here and just saying, I'm going to wave this flag because this flag shields me from all my wrongdoings. Right? That's all people like that do. It's an insecurity based on an unresolved trauma. Right?
Yeah.
And so for him, this would never go away until the day we both die if I didn't go to court. It got to that point. Or if I left YouTube. And if I left YouTube, this guy, which I'm not doing that.
He would follow.
Well, he would follow, but even if I didn't do anything else online, this guy would keep playing my content all day, every day.
Making money.
And try to make as much money as possible until every last person
away.
left his audience, right?
Yeah. Till it fades away.
Right. So, most people can carry on a narrative for years, maybe a few, 2-3 years. But after that, most people are like, okay, this is the same old thing. It's boring. It's done with. For some reason, this guy keeps it going and then still is able to hold. He doesn't have the super huge audience he used to have over it. It's probably about a third the size now, but it's still hanging on steady at a third the size. Now, there are some people that are also starting to leave, and I think more and more, when they see the true light, are going to walk away. But, yeah. This is in his head. This guy feels he's entitled to my life. This guy feels like he has the right to do all this to me and try to shield himself under the First Amendment and under fair use copyright laws. And he'll soon find out when he gets sued in federal copyright court. Once I get my certificates, they should be coming any day now. I mean, that's going to be even more serious than the circuit civil case, because that's going to involve statutory damages, very large statutory damages. But anyway, anything else, babe? Did you remember, or should we move on?
Nah, it was already said.
Okay. In the court of law, we would say it's already been adjudicated.
You and your lawyer talk.
It's all good, baby. It's all good.
You just want to sound smarter than me.
No.
I'm kidding you.
I don't flex to my own woman. That'd be a pathetic thing to do in front of my woman, babe.
Honey, I'm giving you a hard time.
And you would see that as weakness.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
I know. I'm doing the same thing. Okay, it's all good. Love you.
Love you.
Love you. Okay. All right. Let's see. We are at 1 hour and 27, almost 1 hour and 28 minutes. Okay. Number 10, and we have an optional question. We're going to have time for it. At the end of the day, Dawn, what matters more? What people say about you online or how you choose to handle it? And you want to know something? This is a repeat question that we've had in the past in one of our recent shows, but it makes sense for this power question with a strong close here.
It's how you handle it. Simply how you handle what's going on. Because whatever you do from that is either going to feed into their narrative or it's going to change your own narrative.
That's it?
Period.
That was short and sweet to the point.
There's no more to really say, to that point. Go ahead.
You want me to talk? Yeah, she wants me to talk. I can talk all day and all night.
This is true.
Absolutely. I love the mic.
A little too much.
I love the microphone. You could pull out that mic and walk around with it.
And be like on American Idol.
It's a handheld mic on the stand, but mine is stationary. It's like for singing and podcasting.
Yeah, nobody out there cares.
All right. At the end of the day, what matters more, what people say about you online or how you choose to handle it? What matters, they both matter, but what matters more is how you handle it, because you can't control what other people do, but you can choose how you handle it. The right way to do it is to ask the person to stop. Even if somebody defames you once or twice, you ask them to stop, you correct the record publicly, you ask them to apologize, whatever, you move on. No need to sue them, right? Plus, courts are looking, if somebody says something one time and there's no pattern, they're not going to really hold you accountable for that because they know we're all human. This is what this guy doesn't get that I'm suing. Like, I had some few moments back then. There's no pattern of me doing that stuff, right? There's no pattern of me doing that stuff. There's patterns of him not only doing this stuff for years, but during active litigation, I built even more of a pattern with all my notices of filing and other stuff I filed within the case. But it's how you handle it on both sides, which is what I'm trying to say. And I've realized this. A lot of people say, hey, if you're in court, don't talk about it. Stay quiet. I used to think that was the right thing. It's not. You got to handle it optically online, such as on YouTube, if you're a YouTuber and it's affecting you there. And that's the main reason why you're suing the person. And you have to also handle it properly in court. And again, before you even get to court, you try to handle it out of court by asking the person to stop, by sending them an email, right? Reaching out to them and trying to resolve it multiple times. And if that doesn't work and it's affecting you and the pattern continues for an extended period of time, in my case, this has been 6+ years, maybe longer. At that point, you have two choices. You deal with it affects your growth and you're never going to grow and your reputation will be constantly tarnished online, or you sue them in civil court. Now, suing someone in civil court is not cheap. You know, the case costs about $400 to file in every case. And this is not a small claims civil case. This is a full-blown circuit civil case. Number two, you got to understand the law. You can represent yourself pro se as long as you're not, suing as a business. And even if you run a business, you can sue as an individual. If the harm was caused to you as an individual, which is what I did. But even if you sue as an individual, pro se is what they call it, self-represented litigant, you've got to understand the law. You've got to respond to filings. You got to make the right filings with the complaint. You've got to know how to, reach out to the judicial assistant, set up hearings for motions and other things. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. But here's the thing. If that's your only option, you got to find a way to do it either on your own, or if you have a little extra money, hire an attorney. But in my case, here's the thing. I don't have the money for the attorney. But even if I did have the money for an attorney, my case is so complex that it's almost better just me being my own attorney per se, self-represented litigant, right? What I'm trying to say here is this. You have to figure out what the right way is to handle it, so that way you can maintain your reputation. It all boils down to the reputation. Go ahead.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I just itched my face.
Yeah. All right. We're at 1 hour and 33 minutes. We have time for the optional follow-up. This has been great. Not bad. So, Dawn, do you think some people rely on out-of-context narratives because they don't have strong enough facts on their own?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're going to believe whatever narratives if they don't have the facts to prove it differently. Why not? That's what they do. They actually try not to get the actual facts. They try to avoid them because then if they can admit that they see good in somebody else, something that goes against what their community is saying, it becomes a difficult situation, for that person. And it kind of almost puts people in do I leave this community and jump over there? And will I be accepted over there? And will I be completely shunned by all these people? Like, people are thinking this way. It's, there's a bunch of chain reactions with one decision you make on there.
Yeah. Anything else?
No.
Well said. Very well said. For me, at the end of the day, what matters more between what people say about, that's the wrong question there. Do I think some people rely on out of context narratives because they don't have strong enough facts on their own? Absolutely. But it goes beyond that. And many creators on YouTube or online, wherever they're creating nowadays, they need to spin the narrative about people or a particular person in ways that attract their audience to keep coming back and donating money. So that's what's happening exactly with the guy that I'm suing, right? He has to cater the narrative with everything that happens in out of context ways. Now, if he's doing that and not being defamatory, then that is not actionable. But if he's taking things out of context and it's about defamation, like criminal, if it's like criminal activity, then accusing someone of criminal activity is not parody in any way, shape, or form. There's no parody that's going to shield you accusing someone of criminal activity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, if it has been proven that you are a criminal, which I'm not.
No, you're not.
Okay? So here's the thing. When people come out publicly and call our president, Donald J. Trump, a criminal, they're not lying. He's a criminal.
He's a felon.
He's a felon. He's a convicted felon.
That's not defamatory.
It's not defamatory because
it's the God's honest truth. Comes straight from Jesus.
This is the guy where a leaked video was released of him saying, grab them by the P-U-S-S-Y. Remember that?
He said that on the Donahue show.
No, that was actually said like it was on a bus ride. This was when I think it was back in 2016 when I believe who was it? Clinton was running against him, and the Democrats tried to use that to sway votes, but it didn't work. The thing is that if it's criminal activity, it's something that is actionable.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not, it's not actionable. And for the people that rely on out of context narratives because they don't have strong enough facts on their own to maintain their audience about something else, right? That's actually happening. That's where they cross the line.
Mm-hmm.
And then they end up relying on continuing to paint someone in a defamatory way. And a lot of people do it because they're thinking, like this guy was thinking, Eli's never going to sue me in civil court. And even if he has enough, he can't afford the attorney. And it's blah, blah. I found a way to do it. And here we are. And I bet the guy is eating his fucking words years later, especially when he put out a video on me trying to paint me as a predator. We won't get into that. But in that video, he also said it's a civil matter and Eli would have to sue me civilly. He said that like 6-7 years ago. And we played a few of those clips under fair use on our executive ODN's channel. And yeah, we were laughing at it because he knows what he's done. And he knows what he's done right now. And he knows what he's trying to do to try to get this case dismissed. He knows that he's focusing on trying to prove to Judge Stacy the reasons why he's framed me as dangerous all these years.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's part of my case to defeat his anti-SLAPP, where he's trying to say, I'm trying to silence his freedom of speech, his protected commentary.
Mm-hmm.
And no, that's not it. Your Honor, I have no problem if the defendant talks about me all day, every day, 24/7. I have a problem when it involves false factual criminal statements that affect my reputation. That's where I have the problem. Right? He knows it.
He knows it.
He knows it. But until it gets adjudicated, he's going to continue to take as much from that audience and my name and likeness as possible. And, you know, his only card right now is trying to file all these, you know, selected excerpts from these selective clips that are out of context. A lot of them are 4, 5, 6+ years old. They don't involve him. And he hasn't authenticated them properly. And he doesn't have the full context videos of them. Like, when we go to court on Thursday, it's going to be interesting. I'm going to say that. But he knows it. In the meantime, he's going to keep playing it off like, oh, I got this in the bag and this and whatever. Don't get too cocky, man. I'm not even getting cocky. You never know what happens. I'm just saying that, you know, he knows exactly what's going on. But anyway, anything else you want to?
No,
we're at 1 hour and 40 minutes, babe. I'm going to have you do your final thoughts first, and then I have a wonderful outro for the end, and then we'll get into the ending of the show.
Well, I want to start off by wishing everybody a happy Easter once again. I know you're getting it on Wednesday. It's technically Easter on the 5th today. So, but I hope you all had a blessed Easter. And yeah, it's been a great show. It actually made me think a little bit more about the difference of how to take information. You know what I'm saying?
How? Before we go, that's very interesting that you said that. How has it opened up your eyes?
Well, it's more so of like when people are saying things, okay, look at what they're saying. Look at how much truth is behind that.
Insult versus defamation.
Yes. If you want to say that I had a drinking problem, that is correct. That is a statement of fact, you know, not even in your opinion.
If you presently call her a drunk, that's defamatory.
If you say that I am currently a drunk that is driving, that's defamatory.
That's defamatory. Yep.
Because that's something it's not happening.
It's not true.
Mm-hmm. So, you know, that's it really cleared up the differences and how to respond.
Yeah,
to
the DUI,
to the
and
action,
drunk stuff, all that. That's criminal.
You know what that is, and it's my past. I accept it, but it does not define me.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add?
No, sweetheart.
All right. Well, you know, Don, I think what this really comes down to is not everything you see online is the full story. People can clip things, they can twist things, and present them however they want. But at the end of the day, context matters. That context, you get it.
Yes.
It's going to be drilled in your head forever.
Absolutely.
Right. And the truth is, you don't need to control what people say. And that's something I've never, ever done. I just correct the record on false factual statements. Okay? But you do control how you respond to it.
Absolutely.
Right. This isn't about chasing every narrative or correcting every person. And that's why this guy is the head of the snake. This guy, you know, if this guy stops doing what he's doing, the rest of them on their own,
we'll have nothing left.
They're all going to fall like dominoes. So you don't chase every person. You know, if you're going to take action, you take action on the person that's harming you the most. Right?
Yes.
And then the rest
you know, I heard a great thing about that when I was watching one of my shows. It's one of my medical shows. And the doctor was teaching a student, and she said, you can't look at just the symptoms that they come in with. You have to look at why they are having these symptoms. Don't just treat them, but find out where they're coming from.
Where is the underlying issue is what you're saying, right?
Yes.
What is the underlying issue of the problem?
Yeah.
Don't just treat the problem. Find out what's causing it, so that way you don't need medication or shots or anything like that.
Well, yeah, if you come in with like a high fever, don't just give them Tylenol and send them home. Find out why they got such a high fever,
Correct. So again, this isn't about chasing every narrative or correcting every person. It is about standing on what's real and letting that speak for itself. That's very powerful.
Yes.
Because the truth does speak for itself. Once you show the proof of the truth, it speaks for itself.
It'll set you free.
It'll set you free. Most importantly, amen, baby. Amen. Double high five. Because perception can spread fast. And again, like I said in the past, perception is reality.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But truth has a way of catching up. And if you're watching or listening right now, just remember, don't let someone else's version of you become the one you believe.
Yes. Yes.
Right. You know what, babe?
What?
You know what?
What?
Just like I said last week at the end of the show, don't take life for granted.
No, please do not.
All right, baby. With that being said, it is time to start wrapping this up. All right. You've been listening to the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast. This has been episode number 55 with the title of Handling Online Out of Context Narratives. One more time, episode number 55 of the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast was about handling online out of context narrative. Now, baby, let's do this one more time here. If you are listening to us on the audio only podcast network, we are on Apple, we're on Spotify, we're on Amazon's Music, your very favorite, baby.
iHeartRadio.
4 times a day.
iHeartRadio.
I love what she says, iHeartRadio. Whenever I listen to the podcast, I could go to Apple or Spotify much easier, or even Amazon. But I go to iHeartRadio. You know why? It's my lady's favorite. I actually like iHeartRadio. We have a paid subscription to it too.
Yes.
We're also on Amazon's Music. We're on, like I said, Amazon's Music, Amazon's Audible, which is what I'm trying to say. We're also on YouTube's Music and all of the rest of the unknown, podcast networks. Just do a Google search for the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast, and you'll find us there. But if you want to watch the video version of the podcast, go below the description wherever you're listening to this audio only. Halfway down, you see the link to our main channel, GNA, Genuine Personal Development. Make sure you subscribe, bang the bell, and select the notifications so you don't miss anything. Then while you're there, go below that description section and you'll see the link to our live streaming channel, GNA2, Genuine Live Personal Development, where we go live, if not every day, almost every day. And sometimes Dawn joins me, sometimes I'm on my own, sometimes we have guests or interviewing people. Subscribe and connect further with us so you don't miss anything. With that being said, time to go, babe. Have a good one. Take care. And as always, babe, be good to each other.